Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's me again, another Worldwide Net. Did have contact from Gary this morning, and he said it's unlikely to get his equipment going with his workload, etc., before the end of April at the earliest. So it's more likely to be May. So I'm looking for some other net controllers that could help out. So it's a play, particularly next weekend. I have a difficulty. I've got some arrangements that I've already made, but I could rearrange things. But hopefully, we could find somebody else that could do next weekend. Would be appreciated. So Gary also said about his grandson, who's William, who's at Brooklands at the moment, having a lot of fun. So he's been looking apparently at the Concorde that they've got there, the museum over here, and he's also been enjoying himself sitting in the driving seat. So there we go. So I said I would at the end of the net put up my C5 video, which was done at Brooklands, which includes the banked area, that what's left of it, shall we say, and the hill climb, and even the Mercedes test track that's alongside over at Brooklands. So all that'll be included, but that'll be shown at the end. The other thing I need to mention is the VK boys with their Cyclone Alfred. Yeah, what can one say? They didn't look particularly nice, but so I hope they're all okay, and not too much damage to too many aerials, etc. But I did see some footage that I think the police were having to deal with. Lookers at the sea on the areas they'd got them to stand on. Because of the rough weather, it had eaten away at the supports underneath, so that was causing them a lot of problems, I think, in certain areas. But yeah, Rob did send me a picture, which is what do you do with your chickens if Cyclone Alfred's on the way? There we go. That's what he sent me. So at least they will be happy and dry in the shower there. I thought that was pretty good. Back to the camera. Also want to thank G8Koe who's relays the net each week, and I am monitoring it over there, which works exceedingly well, and has also been very useful for testing other things. I hadn't realised that they did do that, so all good there. I see Leon's on this week. I didn't think he was. I thought last week he said he wasn't going to be on, but perhaps I'm just getting old and forgetful, which is more likely the case. So we've done KM Network. Oh yes, the other thing is that my little repeater, which looks like that, which I've been having problems with the quad unit that you can see there, which is underneath the audio mixer there. I think they are prone to get confused, shall we say. So I was looking at getting another one, either a different type or the same type to have a play with. And I managed to locate one for £11.28, including postage. So that's on its way, hopefully for me. It's probably going to be an empty box, but it looks identical. But I ordered it from, yes, I don't normally like ordering, but anyway, that's on its way, so I'll have another one to play with. When it starts playing up, if you ditch the power to it, keep leaving all the inputs from the 4 Raspberry Pi players that on the right there still connected to it, etc., and start it again, it's usually then okay. I had to do it twice this morning to start with, and then it's been fine since. So it's something I'm looking into. and hopefully have another unit I can play with that one and not vandalise what's working. I think that's all the bits and pieces I've got written on my scruffy bit of paper. So let's throw it over to Leon, and perhaps he's ready to dash out or something, and there's just hung on specifically for the net. If so, thank you very much, most appreciated. So test card, and I'll throw it over to you there, Leon, from G8Koe. From G8Koe.
Okay, Martin. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all those online and viewing and streaming and whatever. No, Martin. You've got half the story right. This weekend I'm retired again, which means I don't have to dash off. I can sit here until the last guy is gone. So so you had something in your mind, but yeah. Okay, I've been battling the whole day so far, getting a freaking SDR receiver to work, because I want to feed it with the LNB and see if I can pick up the beacon on the moon. But gee whiz, if I had problems. I bought this one. It's a cheap eBay one years ago, and it works. But then later I bought a better one, SDR Play, and I couldn't find it. Gee whiz, and I was digging here through all the cupboards and the things, and eventually I found it. Okay, which computer did these things work on? I couldn't remember, because I've got like 15 computers. Now I must try them all. No, this one wants a driver. No, that one wants a driver. Oh, this one is happy with it. Okay, so the driver is okay, but now does it have the program, the SDR Sharp or whatever? What's that other thing? Eventually I found a thing that sort of works, but it's stuck in lower sideband. I cannot get to select FM. Oh man, it really drove me around the bend. Anyway, I like ordering things, Martin. I do a lot of eBay shopping and things like that. And in November, I ordered this nice little 2.4 gig amplifier, beautiful on a heatsink, everything. And what makes it nice, it's got an onboard switch mode supply, so it can run off 8 volts to 30 volts. Although in the literature, in the ad, it says 8 volts to 23 volts. I mean, gee whiz, rubbish. Nothing works on 23 volts. So I see, no, on the board it's clearly printed 8 to 30 volts. I want to run it on 24 volts, so this is perfect. Right? I ordered 4 of them from a guy on eBay. It's the only guy that says free postage. Don't shop from him. Don't buy from him. I ordered 4. The box arrives, and the custom sticker on the side of the box says 1 amplifier. I said, that's funny. I ordered 4. Open the box. Yeah, there's only 1 in. Only this one. And I contacted the guy in Wara, and he says, what, I can give you a refund. I said, I don't want a refund. I need these amplifiers. Oh, but then you have to wait. It's going to take some time. I said, well, send it by courier. I'll pay extra for the courier. And another 2 weeks passed, and I got a message. No, eBay says he refunded me. Okay, I immediately ordered another 5 from another guy who does charge postage, so maybe his stuff will be better. But anyway, this one, was it yesterday or the day before? I thought, okay, I'll at least do some measurements with this thing and see how good it is and so on. So I put a load on. Well, actually the power meter had a 3 watt. This is supposed to be 2 watts, so I put a 3 watt power head on it, and a 6 gen on the input, and I put 12 volts on here, which is now nicely in the middle of the road, safe. And immediately when I applied the 12 volts, the little green LED that's somewhere there on the switch mode supply came on, and there on the output choke it started to make scintillations, and the choke burnt open immediately. So this is a dud thing. On top of all of that, this thing is dud. I measured it, and the output terminal, that Y track there, is a dead short. So no wonder the choke went. So it's a factory default. This, I must say, cannot be the vendor's fault, because this thing comes in a sealed foil bag. So it's as he got it, but it's a dud. It's a factory dud. I didn't even go back to him and ask his comments on that. I just won't buy it from him again, because he sent me 1 instead of 4, and I paid for 4. Anyway, so that was my bad luck this week. Okay, Martin, I can stand in for you next weekend if you want. I can't do all the things. I don't have a wara nice test pattern or anything. I can't do streaming. I can do nothing. But at least I can say hello, this is the Worldwide Net, and so on, and you know, do all those things. I can't start this thing, the attendance register. I can't do any of that because I don't know how it works. I'm computer illiterate. But I'll run the net for you if it'll help you out. No problem. Yes, Gary also sent me those pictures of his little grandson. Yeah, he's too cute, sitting there in the ancient Concorde with nice analog dials. None of this rubbish digital glass cockpit stuff. If you lose one chip, the whole screen is gone and you've got no instruments. That thing, it's all individual, genuine stuff. Very nice. Okay, let's hear what Benno has to say. Sorry about your quad processor thing. That's not lekker there, Martin. Yeah, I don't know what could have happened there. If it's connected to a computer, anything can happen. Okay, Benno, over to you. PA3 FBX for the group from ZS1 Mike in Worcester.
I didn't make the right precautions, preliminary test transmissions and things like that. So sorry for that. Took me a little bit to organize me a little bit, despite you gave me plenty of time, Leon. Yeah, hi guys. Not very busy net this week. And yeah, those things with suppliers, it's never nice. If you order 4 things, you get 1, and then you have to wait for a very long time to get the rest. That's never nice. I must say, most of it over the last 2 years, I get everything I order, and also the right amount. The only problem is occasionally I have something like this. This, for instance, which is similar but not the same. This is actually a microprocessor a ESP32, and this is also an ESP32, but now on a developer board, so it's a little bit more easier to mount. This doesn't have pins, you need to solder it, very difficult, and there's no I/O around it. This one even has some 3 volts in there. It's basically the same, and they were exactly on the same order. Well, basically I just didn't pay enough attention that you can choose. You order a ESP32 and you choose option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you want, and if you click the wrong one, you have this one and you need this one. Well, that's the only thing. The biggest mix-up, which is kind of similar, is this box, which keeps reminding me of this problem. And actually, like I just showed you, it happened to me again. This is a metal case. There's a metal case in here, and it was showing as an SDR transceiver, which was very expensive. At some points, it was over $200 or something, and this case was, I think, $80 or something. And yeah, this is one of those things. I just clicked on the wrong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options, and if you don't pay attention, you think you buy a SDR transceiver PCB and you get a case for it. So yeah, you have to watch all the time, and that's the only, well, that's the biggest problem I have. Recently I also bought a bunch of CM119s, which is the chip of the All-Star modem, and I got a bunch of CM109, which looks exactly the same, and again was on the same line, so I ordered it wrong, so I ordered it again, but this week I was building some stock. I have 4 or 5 PCBs lying here now for the people if someone needs one. I haven't prepared to watch the chat. I should watch the chat while I'm on the air. So I this week I built 4 or 5 of these PCBs ready to ship for whoever still wants them, and I also decided to put one CM109 on there, thinking it won't work, but I managed to get it working. So now I have 50 or something chips lying here still for the All-Star project. So that's okay, as long as that works. But yeah, that's fun. And yeah, ordering stuff from everywhere, basically, you need to pay attention. But normally I get what I order, and if you watch out and you order the right stuff, you will get the right stuff eventually. Or they will quickly send you again because they don't want a bad report or bad feedback or whatever. So if you just say bad feedback, yeah, you won't order again, but you will always also get very quickly support to fix all the problems, because one bad feedback costs more for them than the stuff they sent you after they missed sending you. Yeah, next week I might be available, but I'm not quite sure. I am working next week and have a night shift, probably just awake before the net, probably, I should say. So, yeah, I don't think it's wise for me to lead the net. But I will take care of internet support. I will probably transmit it on the Twitch, and I know also Ed normally can put it on the on YouTube. I haven't seen Ed online, so I don't know if Ed is around and if it's available now on YouTube. But yeah, we keep the net running, Martin, and I have said that I will be available for the net control, but I also said it's quite busy. So maybe if Gary needs another 2 months, we might better off sending some email and accepting dates for where people are going to lead the net, Martin. Otherwise, if you don't start that discussion, you probably end up leading all the nets eventually. Peter, passing it on to you. GW7 BZY. Show me some beautiful pictures. At least you have the cameras for it. From Papa Alpha 3, Foxtrot Bravo X-Ray. And passing to a test card. Click, click, click. There it is. Passing it on to you, Peter.
Yeah, we'll get there in the end. So fade from black. So the encoder stopped for some reason, and the little green panel turned to blue, and it was just circulating, but it wasn't actually encoding. And then things cascaded from there, and I continue with the fade to black. But anyway, excellent stuff. Thank you there, Ed. I think it was. I apologise if I got that wrong. Because I have a tour collection, Leon, with the old eBay. That looked like it was going to be good, but it came with no instructions, so I never quite know whether or not which way to feed the electricity into it and where it came out. Anyway, needless to say, it didn't work. Maybe it worked when I first had it, but by the time we played with it a bit, it didn't. So that was gone. I've countless members of these as well, which work for. At least they've got an arrow on them, which is quite a handy thing. And because not only eBay but other shops, I have one of these. I don't know if anybody recognises that. I won't say that where I got that from, but constructed by myself, not at no small expense. And of course, we went from DVB-S to DVB-S2, so that goes into the junk drawer with other things. Anyway, such is life. Yeah, all good this side. Everything's great. I hear Leon. I know Leon likes to see DMR. I know he's a big fan. Not. But there we are, that's DMR. GW7BZY through all UKs. Anybody hear me? Been quite busy earlier. No. someone was calling out on the worldwide, and no one was responding. So I didn't respond either, so I can't really say anything negative about that. But yeah, that's about it this side. Weather is quite good. I'm actually running genuine bokeh now. Depth of field has been shortened, naturally shortened. I've turned my ND filter. Yeah, my beautiful camera. Yeah, see, I've got ND filter. ND filter free. I think that's how far as it'll go. Oh no, ND4. So if the sun shines, I can maintain my bokeh, which is very important, isn't it? With that bombshell, I don't know who's next. That's the question we're all asking. You've seen enough of me now. With me short ramble. It's M0PIT. Okay, Phil, I haven't seen you for a bit. So I'll hand it round to you. Now you've all seen a really good picture. I'll hand it down. I'm going to go with the test card as well.
There we go. Should be working. Alright, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I've been away, and I got back. I got back in the early hours of Monday morning, and for the first time ever, I've come away from the flight with an earache, and I still got it. And that wasn't due to the person sitting next to me who wouldn't stop talking for 2 hours. But yeah, so yeah, I'm back. Not going to say too much about it, but it was totally 100% successful. There we go, that was that. I suppose I've been doing a bit similar to Leon, in as much as I too have been playing around with SDRs. Purchased, well, you've probably got one of these, just a Pluto Plus. It's destined for some sort of DATV project, but as I've never tried narrowband, I thought that's the first thing I'll do. I'll give this a go on narrowband, and I'm going to use SDR console, which is a Windows program, and of course I run Linux. So the first thing was, can I get it to run under Linux? And the answer to that was yes, without too much of a problem. So that was good. I was totally able to receive, but I didn't go on to transmit, other than I tried it, but I was transmitting into my analyzer. The reason being is that I need to make sure that I'm not going to go over power, and on narrowband I have no idea how much my PA will kick out, and I should imagine it's quite a bit, and I don't need very much, so I've held back on that. But yeah, and the other thing that was interesting, I purchased this from our favourite supermarket online, and I expected to be prompted with some import duty, and much to my astonishment, while I was away, it ended up on my doorstep without any import duty. So I found that quite surprising, but pleasing nevertheless. And Leon, you showed one of those little amplifiers. Well, I had a play with one or two of those amplifiers, and if I can find a picture, I did show it before. Where is it? Here it is. there's two, as you can see on there, and the one that I recommend is the I just want to check is that one. I think it's the bottom one. It's the one that's got the SHF 0289 output stage, and the reason being is that that will deliver more power than any of the others that I've tried. That will deliver, well, I'm not quite sure, I think on narrowband it'll probably get near 2 watts on narrowband. As DATV, I can't remember the figures that I got out of it, but that's what I use as if you want the first driver stage. As I say, it's the one with the SHF 0289, and the others just don't kick out enough power for what I wanted, and they seem to be quite reliable, but they do run quite hot. I think I've got in my, so I'm running at the moment, I've got one up here in the shack, which is sitting on the output of a ports down, and the other one is sitting on the input to the kit that's located remotely in the garden, and they work fine, but they do get a bit warm. As I say, I've only recently just got back, so I had to do a lot of, if you want, washing and God knows what else. I've got to do food shopping tomorrow because I've got very little food here. But what I have been playing with, apart from the old SDR, is my old server, this old ProLine server. Very noisy, very big, very heavy. But I've decided I'm going to use that, make use of it, and it's going to be, if you want, a backup server. So I'm going to take images of all my stuff and etc. Well, it won't be images. I'll just download all the user files, all my personal data, and I should just download it onto it in the event that if I break something, which happens, I've got all my user data, not programs, but user data, and that's relatively easy to do. With the way that I built my Linux machines. The operating system is on one drive and all the other stuff, my home directory is on a separate drive, so if the operating system goes bang, if the hard drive goes bang on the operating system, I've still got the other drive and all my user data is on there. So anyhow, that's what I've been doing. I won't be here next week. I'm going to see my son, which I haven't seen him since before Christmas, so that'd be nice. But that would be my journey next Sunday. I'm not sure if I've got anything else to say, so I'm not sure if I'm going to come. Well, I will come back for a second, but it'll only be a quick one probably. But if anybody wants to know some more information about these little PAs that I've got that I recommend, what I'll do is I'll put a link up on the chat, so if you're interested you can go and have a look at them or even buy them if you want. But when I last looked, they were quite difficult to find. They didn't seem to be making any more. But I did have a look earlier, and I think there are some on eBay. But I'll put the link up if you're interested. So right, so this is just looking. There's no one else on the list, so I'm going to hand it back to Martin. So I'm going to put up a test card and hand it over to Martin. So where's my test card? Well, I've left it that picture. That's silly me, and I wasn't looking what I was transmitting. So hang on, let's go and have a look. So that's the camera, should have been. Mind you, the picture of a couple of miniature PAs is probably better than looking at me. Anyhow, enough of that.
You okay there, Phil? I did shout camera on the talkback, but obviously you didn't hear. But I know it gets confusing. But I tried to warn you. Anyway, all interesting. And gee there, Leon. Yeah, it's just a link to see who's on the which I forgot to show, didn't I? Which is typical. So if I so if you, although that's what's showing, I've cropped it down at the moment. So if I take the crop off, then we should be able to get the full page. It's just a link in your browser to get to there. So I expect Gary could send you the link. If the link would work, that's all you really need, and then you can actually see who's what. It's just a spreadsheet, not complicated at all. If I can do it, anybody can. So that would be useful, so as you know who's actually there. But it is appreciated, the offer there, and if you want, I'll put you down to do it, unless somebody else wants to come up and has got the facilities. But I don't see any problem. It's not necessary to have all the bits and pieces to start with. It's more the content, and it'd be nice to get someone else's view. You could hold up a card if you like, saying Worldwide Net. It doesn't to me. It doesn't much matter. It's the fact of keeping it going, and what you get up to, it would alleviate things quite considerably. This, and if you could do it, so I'll assume at the moment you're doing it. If there's any problems or any difficulties there, do come back or get Gary to contact me or whatever. You can WhatsApp me. But at the moment, I'll assume you're going to do it, and it's a big thank you. That is really appreciated. It means it's a little bit easier than this end. I've committed to doing something, but at the same time, I said to Gary, yes, I'll carry on. But you can only do so much. And anyway, the SDR side of things. I've got an SDR Play, the OSPDX side of things, and what I would do is to download, so as you get the drivers on, the SDR Uno software and just install it. That gets you the drivers on. But I think that program's terrible. No, I shouldn't say that really. It's very powerful, but it's very complicated. Then download SDR Console. Absolutely superb program. Takes a little bit of getting used to, and there's some information, but it's worth the effort. And Gary uses that for the narrowband, but I didn't think about using it just on my SDR Play side of things, and it's just so easy to whip backwards and forwards from whether it's the VLF bend or the top end, and it's got, I can't recommend that enough. So Simon's done an excellent job on that. I wish I'd started using it. The other programs are possibly, I don't know, some of them might be more powerful, but for ease of use and the facilities it's got in it, and I only use a small fraction of it. Very powerful program indeed. And Phil, we mentioned Phil, we're not turning things over. Fine on you there, Benno. I'm not a member of all these chats, things and such like. So I think we need to get others involved. I thought others were going to be involved, but the uptake seems to have been a bit slow. But anyway, right, that's a long sort of waffle from me. I don't know who's logging in on the the talk back. Might be Phil, he quite often makes noise. Anyway, right, let's pass it on to Leon. So we'll assume you're going to be the net controller, unless anything changes in the next 7 days there, Leon, and thank you very much. Test card, and it's all yours from G8Koe. And what I will do at the end, before I forget, I will be putting a C5 video on, as I'm getting rid of my car in June. Somebody suggested that I might like to go back and start using a C5. I think that was Phil. I used to have 10 at one stage. Anyway, it just shows how sad I am. Test card, and it's over to you there, Leon from G8Koe.
Okay, fine, Martin. G8Koe in the group ZS1 Mike returning. Yeah, no, for sure. There's no problem. I'll do it for you next week. I'll stand in for you. Not a problem whatsoever. But it will be a bare bones start. From the rest of the thing runs normal. No, I use that that link because I like to put all the names on paper here for comments, before the thing starts. So as long as somebody posts the link that week on the DATV chat or whatever on the page, then I'm okay. Okay. What else did you say, Martin? Oh, the SDR stuff. I used to use SDR Sharp years ago. I think it's a very basic thing, no problem. And then came this SDR console, which is very nice with that. I think that's the one where you could click and this and that, and it would lock onto the beacon, and if your LNB drifts, it'll compensate. And fantastic, brilliantly done. Now, when I wanted to try this thing today, now I look on all the computers, which one's got SDR console, and okay, this one's got it. Now click, but it looks totally different. And as I say, it's got AM, FM narrow, FM wide, but it's got no effect. It sits in lower sideband, and I can't get it off there. And it looks totally different to the one I'm used to. So I don't know. It's a version 3 point something. So I'll have to look at that. But the driver, you very quickly said I must go somewhere to get drivers for these things. Oh, drivers and we're not compatible. Oh man. Anyway, I've got so many memory sticks full of drivers, libraries with just drivers. But it's never the one I need. So yeah, I had this one. It's a no-name brand. This is the one that I've been playing with for years, and that I used on the narrowband on QO100. It worked perfectly there. I can't. There I used SDR console with a phase lock, to lock. And beautiful. Now the driver is gone. Oh man. Anyway, right, the amplifiers. Yeah, Benno orders. Yeah, okay. I must answer you for. Now I know. Oh, you have to be very careful when you look at the little pictures. Especially if they're talking about a case for a this and a that, for a Raspberry Pi and something. Be very careful. If the price looks too good, it's just the case. I'm very, very wary of that. No, my order is exactly what I wanted, everything. It's just that, and I ticked 4, and the checkout said 4, and I paid for 4, but the guy only sent 1. Anyway, okay, now I must first answer Peter. Yeah, why are you running so low resolution today? It's only 500 and something lines you're running. I could see your picture's not as sharp as always, and you're running low. And the neutral density filter, yeah, it works. I prefer to be able to work with the iris. But yeah, of course it's on auto, and you want the iris to be open. On my camera I can set the gain back as well. I've got neutral densities that I can, not this one I'm using, this is a little dinky camera. I've got no control over it. It's full auto, and that's why the depth of field is like infinite, and I don't like that, because it's keeping it too busy, and it eats up all my resolution. But anyway, okay, Phil, sorry to hear about your earache. Funny, I've never had a problem flying with decompression or any problems like that. Maybe I was just very fortunate. Nice, no tax. I also quite often get that, you know, the stuff just arrives. The courier knocks on the door and he said, there's a package for you, just sign there. Other times they phone me or they send me a thing, you know, okay, you must pay in so many rands or whatever, and then they'll release the package. I don't care, that's fine, as long as I can get the stuff and it doesn't take 3 months. If they send it by courier, or there's a thing here that some of the Chinese people now use, it's called buffalo. I don't know if you also have that in your part of the world. It's called buffalo. They let you know, okay, there's a package for you within a week. It's very quick, and you pay them a couple of bob, and they say, okay, right, and then they send a courier out and it gets delivered to you. Fantastic. But not all the sellers use that. They use standard postage, and that takes 3 months if you're lucky. If our post office doesn't lose it, then you've got nothing. Anyway, now we get to the amplifier. Phil, was it Phil who showed the amplifier? It must have been, yes. Yours is totally different. Totally different. Look at my one. Yours is a 2-stage amp. This, the power supplies are very similar, although I see that you've got 3 caps there, 2 caps. I've got 3 caps. You've got other things there and so on. But the amplifier, this is just one big chip with 40 legs, 40 pins or something. And I looked it up, got the data sheet and so on. And yeah, it's got 36 dB gain, something like that, and output power of 2 watts. So it's the right thing. But that little choke there, oh man, it's difficult. There's a little SMD choke, and that went immediately, burnt open, because this output track that it's on several of the pins on that side of the chip. That's a dead short to earth. So maybe it's just a solder flow problem underneath the chip. Maybe if I unsolder it and you know and resolder it, it'll come right. I don't know. And I didn't check when I ordered the other 5 from a different guy whether it looks like yours or whether it looks identical to this one. I don't know. But this is a problem. Yeah, the 1 watters that I bought some time ago, they're perfect. They're not on a heatsink even. I put them on a little heatsink, but they have no problem. It's also a single chip thing like this. You've got 2 little devices on yours in cascade, in both of yours. This is just one device. I know it's got multi-stages inside. If you look at the block diagram of the chip, you can see, oh yeah, and it's got a lot of separate supplies for the different stages on the chip. That's why it's got so many legs. But this one is definitely a dud, and I definitely did not do anything wrong. It was properly terminated, got a nice signal on the input, and as I say, I gave it 12 volts, and immediately the green LED came on, so the switch mode supply was working right. And I see that switch mode supply can give 3 amps, and that little choke is going about 4 turns or so, just on a little ceramic block, so it's just a couple of nano henries, but it's very fine wire, and that immediately just scintillated and went open. So that's the story about my amplifier. The STR stuff, yeah. I'll try it again sometime. Yes, I want to listen for that beacon on the moon on 10 point something gigs. The guy did send me the frequency, and I'm still battling to find a chip or a little module receiver for UHF 428 megs FM, wideband FM, not 12.5 kc or 25 kc, 200 kc channel spacing. The IF bandwidth must be 200 kc, which is normal broadcast FM bandwidth. That's what those normal 10.7 meg filters are, 200 kcs. I'm still battling to find a chip that can do it. There's lots of them, but they're all narrowband, complete walkie-talkies in a chip, and it's so easy. But they're all narrowband, voice two-way radio type thing, 12.5 and 25 kc. Mike suggested the 818, and I had a look. Yeah, it does everything and much more, but it's narrowband. So I'm still looking. I must look for something a little bit older. Somewhere along the line, I ran across a Philips thing, but I can't find it again. I've lost the number. So yeah. So please, guys, I need it. A UHF FM little receiver for wideband FM. Okay, Benno, over to you. PR3FBX and the group ZS1 Mike is listening.
I need someone on the switchboard. I need too much noise anyway. So much things to control and to find the right camera. There I am. Again, what I said last time. I think you will need to go to the commercial band modules and put some kind of converter before it to get this 400 something down to 100 something, because you have so much receivers there, but I don't think there will be much narrowband stuff on 430 something. So and then you will get in the range where some of the stuff still works on that frequency if you tweak it enough. And I don't think that will be stable enough for your application. Well, besides that, everything in a fine net. Yeah, I think SDR Console is a marvelous program, very big. That makes it obviously a little bit less simple to use. And what I also found is that if you look at 10 users, they all have a different screen setup. And well, I think if you want to get used to a certain screen setup, that's okay to modify your screen to your own needs. The problem there is if someone else going to use your system, it doesn't work. And on the other side, if you get it in and you don't know what you need, you don't know how to modify it. So that's the only, well, that's a good thing of SDR Console. It's so user friendly and so user complex. Well, besides that, I was working on a small box here, a useless box, if you want to understand. Most of you probably seen it before, but I made it a few years ago, and I just found out yesterday it didn't work anymore, so I had to repair it. So, and it's doing nothing. Classic. So yeah, I need to work a little bit more on this useless box. Okay, that's all for now. 73s, have a good week, and speak to you all later. From Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-Ray, passing it on to you, Peter, and I hope you have preset your encoder correctly. Mind you, I had some problems over the last few weeks with my G8Koe Red. Sometimes doesn't transmit anymore, and causing all kind of problems. Most likely due to updates or virus protection programs or whatever. Getting rid of all the stuff the G8Koe Red does for us. 73 is all from PA3 Fox Bravo X-Ray. Passing it on to you, Peter.
Okay. Finally. Okay. Yeah, having a bit of trouble with G8Koe Red my end as well. And fiddly, because of course, to please Leon, I've upped the resolution to, since someone's noticed, I don't know if I look actually in focus there or not, I don't know. But anyway, I've just managed to fire it up. I haven't sharpened it at all. Let's try to put a little bit of sharpening on. Not the only thing vMix does lack, I think, is unsharpened mask. That would be really good. I don't use. I used to leave the lens iris on auto, Leon, because I've got a window in front of me. Although I've got blinds of it, the light changes quite a lot. We've got clouds, and the weather is very rarely, continuous. It varies so much. You get a bit of sun, and it burns everything out. So during the summer or a bright day, I have to put some neutral density on. Pardon me. Anyway, because the sensitivity of the camera, etc. And I think the lens only turns down to about 2.8, so it'll overexpose on the bright areas. As for your receiver, now obsolete, but Manpack FM radio microphones. I'm sure on FM. I'm sure they're on thereabouts 400 megs. There's different, obviously different horses for courses. Different countries have different frequencies, but I'm sure some of the old ones were around the 400 or the 700 megs mark. Round about there between 400 and 800 megs, with a gap in the middle for the TV band. But that's where they were. Of course, they've all gone to digital now, and I think there's a new frequency for them. I'm not sure about which that is, but I'm sure the old ones. I'm sure if you've got an old one, it would probably be tunable to your needs, and certainly would have a wide band, the wide bandwidth that you request or need. Just a thought. Of course, cheap as well now, because nobody uses them. What else am I looking at? Yeah, that's about it for everything, really. Thank you for bringing me in there. Look at my one bit of paper. PY2RN. No, that's about it from GW7BZY. So I hope that might have been interesting for you there, Leon. FM Manpack Radio. But there's receivers obviously and transmitters, so and quite well made. I would imagine quite stable, and for a man like yourself, they could be made to work. With that, I'll hand it to. I've got my own bit of paper here. Don't know. From GW7BZY. With a fade. Hopefully the image is sharper.
Alright, thanks Peter. Not quite sure that if your image was sharper. Reason being is I got sunlight beaming onto my glasses and I have to squint a bit. But that's my excuse anyhow. Yeah, SDR, yeah. As I've said umpteen times, and you're probably bored of it, I run Linux. Potentially one of the issues that you can get with Linux is drivers, and that's always a bit contentious. And the other thing is that if you run a Windows program under an emulation, which I use Wine, USB support is very difficult, always has been, and it probably always will be. If you try to use USB, it is an absolute utter nightmare with it, and I don't know why no one has ever resolved it, but I think maybe the Linux guys don't like USB, and coming from a mainframe hardware environment, I can see the reasons why. But anyway, it's another story. Yeah, I went for the Pluto Plus because it's got Ethernet connectivity on it, and that means that if the program supports it, you don't need any form of drivers, and that's why I went for it. So if I went down the USB route, probability is one, the drivers wouldn't be available. I might be wrong, but the second thing is trying to get it to work under the emulation program would be virtually impossible. So I've got that, and it works fine, absolutely fine. I plugged it in and it worked, much to my astonishment. I'm not quite sure if I need to expand the bandwidth on it. I'm not quite sure of that, but at the moment it's basically all factory default. But at some point during the week probably I might attempt to go on to narrowband, but I will have to check the output to make sure that it's not going to overdrive it. Yeah, last thing I want to do is to blow up the transponder and put in up God knows how many watts. But there we go. Right, that's enough from me. I'm not going to be here next week, so I can't help you out on running the net, but Leon has very kindly stepped in, so that's great news. Anyhow, so I'm going to hand it back to Martin. I'll be interested to see his Martin in a C5. He's probably got what we call the old Biggles hat, which is leather, an old leather flying helmet with goggles and a scarf, a white scarf being flattering out the back. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. But I mean, yeah. What about that then? Eh? Boasting. I had 10 C5s. I'd be embarrassed just to admit that I ever had one, and Martin stood up and he had 10 of them. Oh dear, there we go. Anyway, I'm going to hand it back to Martin. Have a good week, guys, and 7 threes from me. Test card.
Right, looks like we're up there, I think. Make sure we've still got audio. And come on, it seems to take ages when you're waiting for it to come through. Yeah, we've got some audio by the looks of it, so I turn that down. Yeah, I had about 10 C5s. I used to repair them and sell them, etc., etc., etc. Modify them. Changed the battery connection side of things. Really complex because everyone was changing them and connecting them up the wrong way round, and blowing up their the control box is not so much of a problem, but the Rangy chip that was used in the display at the top, which did current, etc., and battery condition, voltage condition, that was a bit of annoying if you were trying to restore them to as near as possible. Anyway, I'll put it on in a minute, and yeah, to you there, Leon. Yeah, just go to the SDR Play website, which is it says obviously that one, and then you need software, so you just go to need software and download the Uno software and just install it. That'll put the drivers on you need. Then just put SDR console on and away you go. That's what I would do. That's the easiest way, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. And I think someone did comment that SDR TV just keeps getting better and better, which is another useful thing. Obviously, I'm using DATV Red, and I'm not having any problems. I shouldn't have said that, should have touched wood. The latest version of DATV Red works exceedingly well. The only thing I have changed is that I was getting lots of POC errors, particularly, well, one of the offenders was SDR TV. I was using VLC in OpenTuner. It wasn't the only program that caused problems. Others did. Some of the transmissions I did caused a few, but that was particularly bad. I've now gone over to MPV in OpenTuner, and it's virtually error-free on virtually all signals, particularly on the what I have seen of the SDR TV transmissions. They've been absolutely perfect. I don't know why I suffer that problem with VLC, but others don't. So I did try. So I can't see this. Many things you can do. Or set wrong, correct. But it's just a learning curve on SDR console. But it's worth the effort. It's just really nice, really nice. I'm got fed up with a lot of the other software not doing what I wanted it to do. Because 1 minute I'm listening to medium wave, the next minute I'm listening to right down the bottom end, and then a number of the handbands, etc. And that does it all a treat. Anyway, thanks again to you there, Leon. I will update the with you as the net controller and change the date on that after this net, so as it's ready for next weekend. And thanks a lot for doing that. It is appreciated. I owe you one there. So I think that closes the worldwide net for this week. I will be back in a couple of weeks unless someone else has volunteered to want to do that. I'm quite happy to help wherever I can. Just next week was a bit of a problem, and I will play the C5 video. When we were on the Mercedes test track, we had to wear cycle helmets. Health and safety crept in. But there you go. Right. enough waffle. Let's play it and see where we go.
No, also change the battery.
You've got your numbers off, guys.
Well, there you go. That's enough of that, isn't it? Anyway, thanks again to Leon for doing next week. I'll put you on the list. And, yeah, do help him out next week. And I'll see you all in a fortnight's time if no one else can do it. Well, I'll see you in a fortnight anyway. Yeah, the video was done by my son, who just has an eye for certain things. Nothing to do with me. 7-3's all. This is definitely closing the World Wide Net from Golf 8 Kilo Oscar Echo. I suppose I could put up the World Wide Net test card.